Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Let's see. Okay, I see we're here. Hello and welcome. Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday. Let's make sure we get this shared over there to our CHS ladies so they can find it later. Tell me how you're doing. If you're here and just now joining me, I would love to know how you're doing. And we're just going to pray that we don't have tech problems this Friday. I didn't have any problems Tuesday. Hey, Diane, I'm glad to see you. And I'm looking forward to getting to see you in person very soon. Hey, y'all come on in. Let me know how you're doing. Have lots to go over today. So I think I've got everything shared over there. Okay. Welcome. Hello, Tanya. Connie. Glad to see y'all. Sherry, I'm glad you're here. So we have a lot to do today, and I'm excited for us to get to do this. Last week, if you were here with me on last Friday, we started our summer window. We started it, but did not get it finished. I had some tech issues and just little what do you call them? Little bumps in the road. And so we're going to finish it this week. I really had it planned out on my calendar and allowed 2 Fridays for this. I didn't think to tell anybody that. And I think probably because I thought we could finish it, but I don't want to rush through it. And I know so many of y'all purchased a kit, so I want you to know how to finish it out. And if you did purchase a kit, the replays will be in the hub. You'll be able to find them on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, but after 30 days, they disappear on Facebook. So we'll have those easy for y'all to access in the hub if you're a member of Creative Heart Studio or if you purchased a kit. Okay, so let me give you 2 little announcements and then we're going to get started because I want to do my best to finish this up with y'all. So if you look behind me, you're going to see a lot of paintings, but there's 2 in particular I want to point out. All right, this one right here. This is fabric. And so we are going to be painting fabric in Creative Heart Studio. And I love this project. This was so much fun. And before I even finished it, I was thinking, this would be fun to paint on a skirt or a jacket or on curtains or on pillows, or it's just a lot of fun. And I think you're going to enjoy it. So this is your June project. And the way that this is designed, we do have a small kit for this because let me just show you. I have to be really careful in this chair because it moves really fast. Okay, so this piece right here, this is a screen print transfer. So if you order the kit, this is going to be on this blue, it's real pretty fabric. It's got blue, it's navy with white stars. So we're going to go ahead and press this on there for you so you don't have to letter it, because it is challenging to letter on fabric. Then the bottom is a different piece of fabric, and we'll include that as well. And you can sew these 2 pieces together or glue it like I did. And then this is just a pants hanger. Hey, Destiny. And I covered it with some old book pages and just tied a bow on it, and I can hang this. But as I was playing with it and laying it out, I thought, doing it this direction, this could be a pretty pillow on your bed or your couch, put it together like that. Or you could turn this piece so that the freedom words are going in the right direction, and you could have it as a pillow that way, or a table runner. So many ways you can use it. So this is going to be our June project. If you're not in Creative Heart Studio yet, I really want to invite you. I think you're gonna you would love the ladies that are in there. Let's see, Sherry. Well, we need to get supplies to help us paint. Okay, good question. So you will need to get, where is it? I've got it handy. Textile medium, if you don't already have it. This is some that I found at Hobby Lobby. I think you can get it other places as well. You don't have to add this to your fabric, but it does help. They say it not to be quite so stiff, but I have painted on fabric without it before, but I did use it this time. Hey, Susan and Debbie, y'all come on in. We're talking about the June project for Creative Hearts, and then we're going to start painting we're going to finish our window. And then you're just going to need a red, we're using acrylic paints, Sherry, a red, navy, and green, I think. This is a smaller one. I made this one smaller because we have the retreat coming, and I want you to be able to finish it and feel good about it. So this is smaller kit, and maybe we'll have it up on the website later today. But you should have everything for this. When you're painting on fabric, I like to use a stiff brush. They actually make fabric, what do they call them? Fabric painting brushes. It's just stiff. The bristles are stiff, and it really helps you get the paint down into the fibers of the fabric. You can also use an older brush that has gotten stiff, or you can order, and we talked about these for the retreat. Artist Loft, this is not Artist Loft. They have a brand, I think it's called Friends, that's stiff. It will also be work good for fabric. So that's what you'll need. Okay. Hey, Debbie and Wendy. Glad to see you girls. Susan, do you have any idea when the tree? Well, that's a good question. This kit is huge. There's 23 containers of paint in there. We're painting big, so we need a lot of paint. So we're waiting for one more thing. And while we're waiting, we're working on the boxes. It's a big kit. So we had hoped we could start sending them out yesterday, but between me and Brandy, we're doing the best we can. So we might have some to go out today. It just depends. I've had some weird supply things, and I won't go into that because I want us to have time to paint. But you should get it in plenty of time for the retreat. I'm going to use UPS, and I feel like y'all get it. You'll get it in plenty of time. So hopefully we'll be able to send some out this afternoon. That's what I hope. But if not, it might be Tuesday. Hey, Marilyn, I'm glad to see you popping in, and Deborah. Yeah, we're it's a big kit. It's the biggest one we've ever done. Biggest one. Okay. Yeah, and you should get an email. That way you know to be watching for it. So as soon as we get them shipped, you should get an email letting you know. All right. So let me just say this, and then we'll shift gears. We sold out for our in-person seats. We just sold out this week. We can take, I think, either 4 or 5 more virtual people. We should have enough for 4 to 5 more virtuals. So if you want to do this with us on June, I think it's June 6th and 7th, whatever that Friday and Saturday is, we're painting big. Can y'all see that big floral vase back there? We're painting that, and I'm going to show y'all. I'll be teaching you how my techniques for painting large. And we're using, I thought I had my notebook. Here it is. We're using Denise Glenn. It's inspired by Denise Glenn's Bible study, Restore My Heart. So this is what it's inspired by. So we'll be pulling in bits and pieces of that Bible study also. It's going to be really special. So if you if you want to participate, we've got a few more virtuals, but our in-person is sold out. And I'm so thankful. Thank you all for wanting to do this with me. I'm really excited about it. I really am. Okay, so I think we're ready. So if you don't mind, let me do a recap of, because I felt like I had to jump around a good bit, and I want to make sure that I've covered all the parts of this window. And then we're going to put the finishing pieces on this. Yeah, so let's get started with that. So this project is a series, and what that means is there's be several pieces to it, variations to it. And so this is a seasonal series. So we had this spring window. We did that one in March, and that was part of Jingle and Mingle. And I probably met many of y'all through Jingle and Mingle. I love that event. I love my friends that we do this together with. So this is how it started. And so once I created this one, I thought, oh, this would be so cute as a summer window. And then my brain went to a fall window with pumpkins and scarecrows. And so I'm going to release a new window each season. And of course, we'll need to do a Christmas window. So this is the spring. It has a background wall piece. And so your wall, if you did the spring, you either did the square wall or you chose the 9x12. And I don't have my 9x12 with me. But basically, the background wall looks the same. It's just on a different size. Okay. So because this one was the most popular for Jingle and for the spring window in Jingle Mingle, we didn't even offer the 9x12 for the summer. If you want to do it on a 9x12, all you have to do is get a 9x12 canvas, a flat canvas or a piece of wood, whatever your surface is that you want. You could do it on any kind of wood, really. Okay, so then the first step would be to make a collage background for this piece, your background piece. And I'm calling this the wall because this is what it's meant to look like. So if you look close, there's the brick pieces. There's these little cobblestone pieces. There's the cobblestones down there. Here's some more bricks over in here. And so basically what I did, to recap, is I covered the back with a collage of old book pages. Then I made the brick shapes with like a pencil. I like to use my Supra color pencils like this. It's like a water-soluble pencil. And I just basically drew those rectangles. And then from the paint dots, I pulled in, this would have been the spring window. I think it would have been a burnt sienna. And let's see, I had one. It's a neo color. And you can just use your red and your neo color to add color to it. And then to add the little cobblestones, you're just tearing out pieces of paper. You can use any kind of glue that you like. You could use Mod Podge. You could use Fabri-Tac. I love to use my glue stick, my Pritt glue stick. I love to use that. Whatever your favorite glue is, that's what you would use. Once it dries, then you can just go around those little cobblestones and add a little bit of shading around it, right around in there. The same with the bricks. You can deepen it up in those little crevices, and there's your wall. So the wall will stay the same throughout all the months unless we decide to change it at Christmas, but I don't think so. But we'll keep the wall piece the same and we'll just change out the window piece. So for the first one that I made in March, the wall, I used Velcro because I was taking mine on and off so much, showing it to promote the kit. My Velcro glue would not stay on. And so I started looking for a different alternative to making it interchangeable. That's why I'm calling it an interchangeable window. So I decided to use magnets. So so this little wood piece will be included in your kit. If you get the complete kit with the wall, you get this little wood piece. That's what's going to help it raise up. If you got the first wall, you got two little skinny pieces. If you get the current one, you get two of this size. You don't have to have it that way. I just really dimension in my artwork, and we can create dimension, an illusion of dimension with shading and highlights. And I like to do that, but I also like to have dimension. So, what I need to do is put a piece on the back of my window now so that it sticks. So if you were here last Friday, you saw that, and I don't know where that window is, my sample window. I had glued the magnet on the back, and my magnets were, what do you call it, where they were rejecting each other. They wouldn't stay together. They were moving against each other. And I don't remember who it was said that she had glued a washer on the back of hers, and that made so much sense. I thought, why didn't I just do that? The washers in a toolbox, she glued that, and that gave a metal surface on the back, repelling. Thank you, Karen. And then the magnet would attract that metal piece, and it would stick. So I didn't have a washer handy real quick, but I want to show you that I've created interchangeable pieces on frames before, and I've used a canning jar lid. I don't know why I just had my brain was not firing. So that's what I'm going to glue on the back of my summer window back here, and then that will give a piece, some metal for my magnet. So I wanted to explain all of that because that's one of the parts that we're going to need to finish today. So if you didn't get the earlier, if you're watching the replay or came in a little bit late, we're going to go ahead and finish this out. And one of the things we need to do is add the back part so that it can stick to our wall. Okay. So let me move some of this out of my way. Before I do that, I didn't know that. Sandy, old 2032 size batteries. It's like the hearing aid batteries, the little flat ones. That's good to know. That's good. I love how everybody is so good to share tips and hints. Okay, so one of the things, so that's the recap of this project. Let me briefly give you the recap of this, and we're going to start. All right, so this is the summer window, and what we did last Friday is we went ahead and we added the watercolor paint to the window. And my window is not, I don't think I attached it. Let me make sure. I clipped it to my board. Yeah, it's not, to get it flat. So I painted mine before I attached it to my board. And here's why I did it. And that I want you to hear this part. So there's no right or wrong way to do this. You could actually do the watercolor painting you could actually attach the window to your board and then do the watercolor painting. Or you could do like I did. I painted my window and then I'm going to add it to my board. The reason I chose to do it that way is I have a tendency to be messy. So if I attach my board, my window to my board first, have to be super careful to not get adhesive on the front. Do you know why? Hey, Adrian, happy Friday. If I get adhesive on top, it's going to repel the watercolor paint. So I would rather, and it's just personal preference, I would rather go ahead and paint it and even seal it and then apply it. But it's all personal preference. Okay. Either way, you're going to have to be careful, just so that you don't get stuff on here. So, how do I need to be careful if I'm doing it this way? Well, the way I need to be careful is whenever I attach this to my board, I still need to be careful not to get adhesive on the front, but I felt like I could do it better. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. All right. The other thing that we did last week is I showed y'all about using salt with your watercolor, and it makes this really neat effect. And so let's see, right over in this area and right here, while the paint was wet, I sprinkled just some table salt on there. When you do that, you have to just let it sit until it's totally dry. Then when you brush it off, it has this really neat effect to it. So I chose to do that because I thought that would really look like firework lights. And it does have a really neat effect. Okay, so here's how I want to do this. Hey, April, I'm glad to see you're here. I'm going to go ahead and brush my salt off, and I'm going to go ahead and attach my window to my board, okay? So I'm going to take my clips off, and I would recommend using clips no matter whether you attach your board before it's painted or after it's painted, because it's going to help it lay flat. Okay, so let's talk about what to use to attach this. You can use your favorite glue. You could use Mod Podge. It will work. You can also use Fabri-Tac. If you have like matte medium or a gel medium, that also works. I like to use that. Pretty much any glue that's going to allow you to get this smooth. You really want it to be smooth. Okay, so I'm going to take this off, but I'm going to keep my clips handy. And now let me move my little lid. Get that out of the way. Oh, and I got to add my other camera, or you won't be able to see. Okay. All right. Esther, glad to see you. Okay, here we go. All right, let's see if I've got this so y'all can see. All right, so if you look close, you might even still be able to see some of that salt in there. I used regular salt last time. I brought some of this sea salt out. It's coarse. It's a little bit thicker and bigger, just so we could see the difference with it. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this to wipe that sea salt off. And I'm not going to hold it on my table because I don't want to get salt all over this because I just put a new paper down. Hear how loud that is? That's me scraping off that salt. And I also didn't want the salt to get under here and not give me a good effect, a smooth. Okay, can you see the little splotches in there? It may be hard to see. I can see it from here, but it may not pick up on the camera. All right, so what I wanna do is I think I'm just gonna use, Mod Podge for this. You can use any of those glues. The main thing to keep in mind is you really want it to be smooth. You want it to be a smooth coat on there, and then you want it to dry smooth. You don't want it to be bumpy. All right, I did not get my Mod Podge brush, so let me get that. I try really hard to not use my good art brushes with Mod Podge. It just doesn't brush, it doesn't, I don't think it washes out very well. So let's see. If you're just joining, let us know how you're doing. All right, this is not the best brush, but this will work. All right, so I printed it on this side. This side got messed up, so I thought I'm not wasting that good paper. So I don't know if we covered this or not last week. Some of this may be a review. I just want to make sure you know. I want to make sure you know all the things. So you could use cardstock to paint this because it's watercolor paint. You know, it's activated and becomes paint whenever it's wet. So with that being said, you got to think about the paper that you're using. Watercolor paper is the best because it's designed to be used with watercolor, but it may not always be what works for you. So whether you print it out yourself onto watercolor paper or you use a method to trace it onto there, that's the best. But the next best thing would just be a heavy paper. All right, I'm trying to get mine lined up, and I paint, and I didn't even think to tell y'all this, but I designed this so that the shutters kind of hang off the edge, just because, only because I like that look, that dimensional look. All right, so I've got it down, but I want to use my card and rub over it just to make sure that I don't have any little buildup of glue up under here. What kind of glue do y'all like to use? Tell us in the comments. What's your favorite adhesive for this kind of thing? All right, I think I got everything pushed out. All right, y'all kind of see that? Now then, see how that is not sealed down all the way? That's okay, because I'm about to do something with that. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add my binder clip up here at the top. I just want to make sure that it gets the best chance possible. I did see something I forgot to tell you. If you wanted to paint that paper, you absolutely could. If you want it to look old and aged, you could absolutely do that. All right, now the next piece that we need is our scrapbook paper to make the little window ledge, like this ledge right here. And y'all cannot believe it, but I don't see mine. Here, I'll just use this one. I'm going to use this. All right, so I'm just going to measure, and I want it to go a little bit on each side of the window. So I'm just going to measure it like this. And this is not double-sided paper, so I think I'm just going to use it like that. That'll help it be thicker. So let me just trim this edge off. And I think I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to take some of my glue. Oh, I love seeing y'all add your good. I'm glad y'all are adding all that. Hey, Jackie, I didn't see you here. Happy Friday. I'm so glad to see you. I'm glad you made it. Okay, so I'm just going to use my Pritt glue stick for this. And the reason I'm doing this, so like if you got a piece of scrapbook paper that's double-sided or it's a thicker piece of paper, you probably don't need to do it. But I'm just doing it because the piece of paper that I got is thin. And so I want to use this to make a window ledge. Okay, so now I've got a double-sided piece. Love seeing those glues come in. I ordered myself some of that Bearly Art glue, Cassie. Just came in. Diane loves Pritt glue, Fabri-Tac, Mod Podge. Awesome. Okay, so here's the secret with this little thing. I have to look at it to remember how to do it. All right, part of this can be attached to the back. One time though that I did one of these, I actually slid it up under the window paper, and that worked also. So I'm testing it, and that one will work. So you could do it right here, or you could do it back here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to measure for where I want my fold. So I think I want it to come up about that high right there. So I'm going to put a crease right here. Okay, that's my crease. So I know that I want my fold to be right there. Let me fold it again, get it good and crisp. See that? Now look how it's going to sit up straight. I love that. And I also see that my other window, I kept it within the box. I'm just going to keep it like I've got it. All right, so now I need another fold because I want it to fold. All right, so it's going to go here. So you're measuring right now on how far do you want this to stick out. I like that right there. I like it right there. So what I'm going to do is measure again. And I'm not giving you number measurements because your paper might be different than mine. This is something you'll just have to eyeball it. You know what that means, eyeball it? Okay, so let's see how that looks. I like that. I like it. So I'm going to go with that. And so now what you would do, you're going to be left with this little, it almost looks like a gutter. We have gutters on our house that kind of remind me of this. So you're making yourself like a little gutter, and the back part of your gutter can go in between there if you want it to, or just attach it to the back. And I'm just going to attach mine to the back. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. So with that being said, I've got my glue gun. I was glue poor. Like I was out of hot glue sticks. I was running out of everything. So I just got some more glue. And I'm just going to hot glue this on there. All right. So I hope I'm not forgetting a step. Are y'all like that when you cook? Do you use a recipe, or you just kind of know about what goes in it and then you just start doing it? That's kind of how I paint, y'all. Okay, that's pretty centered. I'm not going to ruler measure it. I'm just looking at it. I'm eyeballing it, and it looks pretty good. So this is how it looks from the side. And that's one more way of adding to that illusion of depth and dimension. I love that. All right, so I feel like my piece is down really good. I don't really see any gaps anywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and put my Mod Podge away for right now and get it out of my way. All right, so another thing that we need to talk about is your banner. So when we put these kits together, we included some burlap and, come on guys, cooperate with me, and some denim. in case you wanted a fabric pendant here instead of painting it. So that's why this is in here. You could, if you wanted to, you could even make another little pendant coming off of your windowsill. I mean, you could go crazy with this stuff and just have so much fun with it. So if we have time, I'll come back to this and give you some more ideas of how you could do the pendant, but I want to make sure that we cover the painted part. Okay. All right. So now, before we add our streamers and stuff, I would like to, all right, let me move this. I would like to, let's talk about the fireworks in here and going around our flowers, because they're still kind of dull. I feel like they need a little bit of help. And there's one or two ways that we could do that. We could outline the petals, and we could use our micron pen or a Pitt artist pen. You're going to really want to have a thin, fine point, but you know, this one's a little bit bigger. This is a 0.8. This is a Unipen. Yeah, Cassie, and that's how we do with our art. You know, I'm giving you ideas and suggestions, but then you can do it the way you want to do it. Okay, so let me get this down a little bit lower so y'all can see. All right, this is my preference. I love watercolor. I love the effect that watercolor has. And so when I'm doing my outlining, I like for it to be light. I don't want it to compete with the softness of the watercolor. So in order to get that light look, I like to use a fine point. And then I like to outline sparingly. That's my preference. If you like all of the things outlined, that there's nothing wrong with that, okay? So here's one thing that we could do. We could take our pen and outline some of these petals like this. And I'm going to outline all of them so you can see what I'm talking about. And look how much they pop. I mean, they really needed that, didn't they? Because they were such a light color. And I feel like this real pretty teal aqua color was competing with them because they're on a similar value scale. So they're just like competing with each other. So that really helps that stand out. And so outlining all the petals with a thin point, to me, that doesn't look too busy or blaring at you. I think it helps it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Then what we can do is we can go in with that white neo color, and we can do a few more little highlights and things like that. But just that little bit of outlining really helped it. So let's do the petals first and then look at it and then decide, do we want to do all of the stems or just part of the stems? Let's decide that way. And don't worry if you outline and you don't outline it perfectly. I never do. I never outline it perfectly. And I'm the one that drew it. So if I can't get it perfect, I know you're not going to be able to, not without being stressed. And we're doing this for stress relief, not to make us stressed. Okay, that really made that pop, didn't it? Okay, so I'm going to try just outlining a few places on the stem. And notice I did a little line on the left side of the stem, then I came down to the bottom of the stem and I did it on the right side. Over here I did the left, came over here, let's do the right, and here let's do the left. And so that's one way we can put some outlines, some subtle outlines in so that it helps it to be seen, but it doesn't take away. All right, so whenever we get down here, and don't be surprised if you got to turn it upside down, I do want to outline the little planter box like that. Now, if you had a gold metallic pen, that would look really cute. There's lots of ways you could finish out these stars. I think I'm going to go ahead and outline the stripes just to clean up the edge of that a little bit. Like that. And for now, I'm just going to outline my stars. And I didn't pull out my gold pen, so I'm not going to stop and look for it. I know about where it is, but I really want us to be able to finish this. Okay, so now that really stands out, doesn't it? Okay, so now let's go to this one. So I know that we could outline the pot right in here. I also know we could take that white Neocolor. There he is. I knew I just had him. And we could do some little highlights right there to kind of help our little pot stand out. You could even come over here and add a few highlights on your red and blue one. Okay, so that's one thing we can do. If you wanted this to be a little bit more subtle, you could take a pencil and outline the stems. And I'm going to show you this one, and then you can decide if that's how you want to do yours. Nothing wrong with outlining it with a pen, though, if that's how you want to do it. But this will show you just a subtle, just a little bit with this brown it's a sepia is the color name. It just helps these little leaves really pop. And then you could come back if you wanted to with a little bit of white, whether it's with your, I thought I had it handy. Let's see. I've got a white Posca pen. I could put a little bit on the tips, just in a few places, especially up here close to that black. Because if you think about it, this is a reflection of fireworks. So I would imagine that there's parts of the plant that is lighting it up. You know, it's putting light on it. So I think that helps. All right. So now for the flagpoles. Let's talk about that. And maybe this is my gold pen. Let's see. Look at there. Okay, so I'm going to do the gold. It's not going to show up very well. I think it's because I got black on my flagpole. You'll see that it's not really showing up well. Okay, let's see what's handy. I think I've got one right here. This one is a metallic, gold metallic paint pen, so it will probably stand out better. Yep. Paint pens are generally more opaque. Okay, y'all. It's dry as a bone. It's not going to work. All right, I'm going to try one more thing, and then we're going to keep moving. This is a silver, and it's not been open, so let's pray it works. ideally, I would have left that unpainted, but I probably was hurrying. All right, let's see. Do y'all have big plans for, I almost said the 4th of July, for the holiday, for Memorial Day? This is a really dark silver, so it's not standing out that great either. Let's see if I can lighten it up with the Posca. Okay. All right. We're going to keep moving. All right. So now let's look here. So this part, I do want to outline my flag. And I want to outline some of the stripes. And it looks like maybe we started that last week because this one has some outlines on it. I don't know, does it feel like time is just flying to you? Because I feel like we just painted this the other day. It's hard to imagine that this was a week ago. I'm just curious, does it feel that way to y'all? Like it's time is just flying. Eating barbecue with my daughter and her family. That sounds good, Susan. Where do they live? Do they live close to y'all? Oh, look at there. That looks good. I added some gold there to the little hinges. So what the problem was, y'all, is I just painted over that. So it just can't cover it. All right, so now I'm going to add some depth. And then we're fixing to start adding fireworks. I'll show you how I did that. I just wanted to do this part first. Okay, let's go ahead and do a little bit up here at the top. And I know I said before, if you want to make this look aged, you could go over it with a light wash of ink from a stamp pad. Just, you want it to be a really light wash. If you have an off-white watercolor paint like Buff is a good one. If you have, trying to think of other mixed media things, if you have the shading gray, it would look good. I'm going to outline a few of these little tulips. Susan, do you have grandbabies? I think you do, but I didn't remember for sure. All right, so that's helping it, just getting those outlines in. I want to come up here and I want to thicken up just a few. Basically on the first letter of each of these words, I'm going to thicken it just a little bit. Not a lot, but just a little bit. All right, and then I'm going to go down the middle. Okay, so first thing we can do with this is we can take our white Neocolor and like start drawing in like these little explosion looking things like that. We want to draw those in first and then come on top of them with our beads. You'll see that? Just that little stroke. And it really pops because we have a lot of darkness back here, but we have variations in our darkness. And if you look close, you can see the little speckles that the salt made, and those look like little bitty fireworks. So, and I'll add some more white to the top of this as if, you know, it's adding a lot of light. Okay. All right. Any questions so far? Let me know if you have any questions. Oh, that's such a good age. Excuse me, y'all. Okay. So now let's look at our bling and let's talk about that, okay? So we've got this here and this and this. We have lots of bling to play with. And here's these. So one of the things that you could do, this is where the decision time comes in, is decide about how you want to do your pendant, if you want to leave it painted or if you want this to be fabric. Let's see something. Let's just see. I'm going to, I think I can do this by tracing. I can see through here a little bit, so y'all are all so creative with this stuff. So be sure and show yours. We would all, I mean, I say this all the time, I know, but it still is so important. So I keep saying it. Creativity feeds creativity. Yeah. So I'm going to use the muslin on the blue because I think that the blue's it competes with this. So here's what I did. I took my muslin, laid it on top, and I traced it just enough for me to see it. And I'm just going to use some hot glue to put on top of that. And I've got that denim, but I think it's going to compete with the sky. But there might be somewhere else to use that denim. What do you think? All right, so let's see if I can get this down without burning myself to death. All right, what do you think, y'all? Let me know. Do you like it with the burlap or like it just painted? Ouch. All right, there's that. Now we've got this string and we could add it to the bottom. Well, guess what? It just went into that burlap, so I guess I am going to add it in there. Let me grab some of this other glue. It's not really what I was completely planning, but that's okay. Go with the flow. And I hope you'll make more than one of these. You should have enough bling in your kit. You could. I ordered some of that Barely glue, but I don't have it opened up yet. So I'm using my Tombow. Okay, that's a good example of what I was talking about. I got glue all over that, but it's okay because it's already been painted. But this is what I need to make sure to tell y'all. This is watercolor paint. It does, and it moves with water, but it doesn't know the difference between water and glue. It moves with anything that's wet. So usually what I would do is I would seal my painting just to be on the safe side. I think I did that with this, but I'm going to be honest with you, I don't remember if I did or not because it was last Friday and lots happened since last Friday. Oh, goodness. Okay, so okay, just adding that in there like a little additional streamer. And I think I'm going to let it go up to this little point right here. And for my words in my song, there was some of these that I really liked. So I want to try and make sure I don't cover them up because I'm bad about looking for the right words and then accidentally covering them up. Blessed with victory and peace, may the heaven rescue our land. I think is what it says. Okay, so I'm just putting a little bitty dollop. And sometimes I will dip my floss into gloss medium or Mod Podge and just wet it all down, but on this one, I wanted it to feel like you could feel the texture, you know what I mean? So, that's why I did it this way. You sure can, Susan. If you will when you check out, choose, local pickup, and then Brandy will put it to the side. We have a pickup box right outside our door. But choose local pickup and then just put a note with it that you want to pick it up at the retreat. But yeah, you definitely can do that. All right. What do y'all think? I like adding that color up there. I didn't really have a plan for it, but I think it needed that extra color. Yeah, I think that worked well. Okay, so now I've got that done. Now I want to look at my little buttons. So you've got buttons and you've got these two little stars. So when I was designing the project, I was thinking that the buttons could look like they were holding the banner. So you could put it like that. Y'all just put it wherever you like it. That's what I was thinking, but you might like it a different way. Like you might want it right here. Play around with it. But I feel confident there's no right or wrong way. So you might want them at the bottom or here. That's cute right there. I like that. I might put it right there. So let me show you something. I've had this waxed cord for forever. And recently in our CAP group, our printable group, Wendy was showing us these stitches and she was using waxed string thread. And I was like, I have that stuff and I didn't know how to use it. I bought it because I love the colors. I'm just like that. I have so much stuff that I bought because I just like the color. So I have been putting this stuff all over the place, Wendy, now that I know how to use it. It makes threading a hole so much easier. Look at there, look at there. Okay, so let me chop a little bit of that off. I just like all the dimension. And I got to keep up with the time. How does it go by so quickly? All right, so this one right here, this is what I chose to use for my fireworks. So I pulled out the little diamonds and I placed them in the center of each of my little explosion things. Like that. This would be really pretty on a mantle or on an entryway coming into your house. So I'm going to glue this, but I'm also, and I've got this precision glue. So let me show you what I'm doing. Let me do it and then I'll show you what I'm doing. I want to also glue some of those tiny little beads to also make it look a little bit more like sparklers. All right, so I want to get my diamond in place first. I learned that the hard way last time. All right, then I'm going to sprinkle. I think I'll put silver right here. Whoops. We put a lot of little diamonds in here for y'all. Wish they were real diamonds, don't you? Don't you wish we'd put real diamonds in here for y'all? Everybody be ordering a kit, hoping they'd get some diamonds. All right, so then I'm just gonna sprinkle them around, not too much, because you can't see the sky, but it just gives that illusion that it's little fireworks. Okay. Now I'm hurrying, y'all. I'm hurrying. Now I've got these little wooden stars, and I'm going to put mine right there on my pendant like that. And I'm going to just use hot glue. They're dark in color, so I'm putting it on the end right there. So we still have to add the little metal piece on the back. Tell me what your questions are about any part of this, because I feel like I jumped around so much last week. I just want to make sure that I've told you all the things. That was hot. I'm just using little buttons. I really like buttons. And I don't have another button. And I should look for comments. Anybody have any questions at all? Let me just put a little silver thing. All right, so now let's take, do y'all remember whose idea it was to use the washer, the metal washer on the back? Sandy said that those batteries, the old used batteries, would also work. But I'm going to glue this jar lid, and I feel like this is what I should have done. Hold on. Maybe I can get it back up. Let's see. I thought I had already used that button. Please cooperate with me. I really want you to come up. All right. All right, here we go. I didn't make too big of a mess. That was risky doing that way. But I wanted this one to be in the middle, and I wanted this one to be on the side. All right, y'all see what I have now? I've got the wooden stars on each end, a blue, and then that fun little button in the middle. And then look how pretty the little sparkler things are. Have this button here with some thread. That would have been cute to have thread there. This is embroidery floss that I just tacked it down a little bit with the glue. We added this piece, and because mine was a single-sided scrapbook paper, I glued the front and back together like that, and that helped make it sturdier. I lined it up and decided how much depth, how far I wanted this to stick out. Wow, that was a big bird that flew right in front of my window. That's where I put my fold, and then I measured it again to add that fold so that it was kind of like a gutter, and then I glued it on the back. Okay, so I used Mod Podge to glue my painted piece onto this collage piece of 8x8 square. So, and I used a room card, an old room card, and rubbed it across to make sure I'd gotten any excess or bubbles out. Probably for once I get the back on it, I'm going to go over it with a misting of this just to be on the safe side, because I really don't remember if I had sprayed that or not. We can also use, I just had it, the wax. We can also use cold wax medium to seal a watercolor painting. But if you use this, I would recommend doing it first before you add your bling. But I just wanted you to see that also. But the main thing is if you're doing a spray, do a very, very light coat. And if you were here last week and you saw me put the salt down, I scraped the salt off before, and I did it away from my table so I didn't get it on my surface before I glued it down because I wanted to be able to scrape over it and make sure that it was smooth. Okay, so let me put the cap back on this, and I want to use one of my canning jar lids. I love the idea of the washer. I don't have one of those handy, but you know, the washer like a tool, not a washing machine, but the washer and screws, a piece of metal basically that you can put on the back so that, let me get my little wall. This is how we're going to make it interchangeable. All right, so let me move a few pieces and we're going to put this baby together. And I'm going to put mine on my fireplace mantle. All right, so I had already glued this on there. So I'm going to lay this down. Move my clips. And I know that this sticks really well. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and just put that into position so that it's centered like that. And then I'm going to put, I don't know, should I put a slow drying glue on that or hot glue? What do y'all think? What do you think I should do? I tried it, Sandy. Oh, my heat gun. Well, I have a story about it. We can't find my heat gun. Yeah, we can't find it. I don't think I lost it, though. Put both? Okay, that's what I'll do. I'm glad you're still here. I was afraid y'all are so quiet today. Am I doing all the talking? All right, I'm putting some hot glue on that just because. All right, so what I'll do is I'm going to put some of I do have some E6000. Let me grab my E6000, y'all. Thank you, Patricia. Both. Yep. Deborah, how are you doing? Tell us how you're doing. I've missed you. Is your back better, worse, the same? Okay. So I'm going to put the E6000 in the center, and I'm going to go around it on the edge with the hot glue. Because I don't want this going anywhere. I want it to stay. All right. The Velcro was a great idea, but I was taking it off and on too much, and it just, I think this is going to be even better. I just feel like everybody else's glue gun, their Surebonder, I don't get a good flow with my glue. It's just like little pumps. It's not, I don't know. All right, I'm going to stand up so that I can kind of eyeball where I want this to go. And there it is. And I'm going to be very patient. I'm just going to let it sit there. Okay. Make sure. What do y'all think? Let me get that up under it so it's level. All right. How long is the wax supposed to be dry before applying the bling? So Diane, I don't think you have to wait very long. I think just oh, Patricia, that makes me so happy. She had a hot date with her grandson. I used to love that with mine. Oh my goodness. I have so many wonderful memories of doing little things like that with him. Oh, and then on the last day of school, we would get up super early and I would take him to Krispy Kreme and get a hot crispy donut and get a box to take to the class. 12. That's awesome. Yep. And he would look forward to it. I looked forward to it. Okay, I'm looking on here, Diane, and I don't see. I think if it feels okay to touch it, I would think it would be okay to go ahead and just put your bling on there personally. Um, I would have preferred to use wax on mine, but I didn't do it in time. So, you know me, my brain has about 20 squirrels loose in there. And Brandy, she's from South Alabama, and she has some of the funniest sayings, and there's so many times I say, "What did you just say?" And one of them was, she's got squirrels. I can't even say it like she says it. Squirrels loose with their tails on fire or something like that. It's so funny. Susan, yeah. Y'all, we have a precious, precious role as grandparents, don't we? Let's see. Deborah said, I've missed you guys. Slow recovery, going to take a while longer, making progress, trying to be grateful. Yes. Yeah. And it's okay on those days that you're just having a tough day to just let the Lord know I'm just really struggling today. Um I need you extra hard today. And he sees and he cares. Um and maybe you can get in there. I know you probably don't feel like doing anything, but watch some of the lessons and watch some of those other Zoom replays. Maybe that will encourage you. It's hard when your body, and I know everybody knows this, but it's easy to forget on the days that we feel good. It's easy to forget, isn't it? How hard it is on the days we don't feel good. So I'm having an issue with my knee. So I just had an MRI this morning. Might have a little tear in there. So I'm praying that I don't. But anyway, thank y'all for being here. Can I just recap before we get off? We still have a few of the window kits. If you didn't get a kit and you want to get it, we'd love for you to send you one. If you purchased the spring window, you should already have the wall piece, unless you chose not to get the wall. I think we did all of them with the wall piece. And you would only need to purchase the window only part of the kit for the summer. Then Creative Hearts, we're painting fabric, and I've been so excited about that, y'all, because I started out painting t-shirts. So this is like my happy place, and I think you're going to love this. I really do. And you can use your regular acrylic paints. You're just going to need a stiff brush. They make brushes for fabric painting that are very stiff. You might have some old brushes that you didn't get clean really well, and they might be stiff. The reason you want the stiffness is to get down in the fibers of the fabric. Also, textile medium, it added to the paint helps it not be so stiff on the fabric. But if you're just going to be hanging it up like that, it's probably fine. It probably is fine. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. That's that. We filled up the retreat for in person. We sold out of those tickets. I think we have about 5 tickets for the virtual. And y'all, this is a huge kit. We've still not shipped them out. We're trying to get them finished up, but it's got 23 containers of paint and mediums in it. It's a lot, but we're painting big, and I'm showing you some of my secrets. So it's going to be good. I really think it's going to be good. So you can sign up for the virtual if you want to do that. We would love to have you in Creative Heart Studio. If you've not joined us yet, you like painting, we do a painting every month, and you get access to all the previous lessons. So It's just a great place of encouragement. And we just added our baby sister to the creative family, CAP, Creative Art Printables. And y'all, those ladies are having a ball. They've just given me so much encouragement. We've been making journals, bookmarks, washi tape, all kinds of good stuff. So, and that club is basically my artwork that I'm reformatting into different things like journaling prompts, washi tape strips, borders. There's like 14 pages in this. I think there's about 14 pages in the June bundle. Just it's a resource. You could even incorporate it, some of the work, and we need to do that. We could incorporate it into our mixed media painting too. So we have lots of opportunities for you, and I think to meet a wide variety of interests. You think you got yours today, Patricia? Good. That Brandy's been working hard trying to get everything out. So she's going to be off for a few days. Get rested up. All right, everybody. Thank y'all so much for being here. I really do appreciate you. And I'm so thankful for what this weekend stands for, what it means, and how we can also celebrate our heroes, our military heroes and their families, sacrifices they've made for our freedom, And all of it to me points me to Jesus, and he's the ultimate hero. He sacrificed for us to be free. What a precious gift that is. So y'all enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend, and I look forward to seeing y'all Tuesday for lettering at lunch, Lord willing. Thank you, Cassie. Thank you. All right. See y'all later. Thank you, Patricia.